Hey there, animal lovers and trivia buffs. Did you know there are creatures out there that poop cubes, survive being frozen, and even taste with their feet? Yep, the animal kingdom is as bizarre as it is incredible. Today we're diving into some of the weirdest, most mind-blowing animal facts you've probably never heard. Ready? Let's get started. Let's start with mammals, our warm-blooded buddies. First up, sloths. These slow-moving creatures take laziness to a whole new level. Not only do they nap up to 20 hours a day, but they also only poop once a week. And when they do, they make a perilous journey down from their tree to do their business on the ground, where predators like jaguars are waiting. It's a risky move, but hey, nature has its quirks. Speaking of quirky, the platypus is like nature's Frankenstein. It's part mammal, part bird, and part reptile. But here's the wildest thing. They don't have stomachs. Food goes straight from their esophagus to their intestines. And kangaroos? Female kangaroos have an amazing survival trick. They can pause their pregnancies during droughts or food shortages. It's called embryonic diapause, and it's basically nature's version of hitting the pause button until conditions improve. Supermoms, right? Narwhals, often called the unicorns of the sea. These fascinating creatures sport a tusk that can grow up to 10 feet long. But it's not just for show, it's actually an enlarged tooth. Scientists believe narwhals use their tusks to sense changes in the water, like salinity and temperature, and maybe even to attract mates. The echidna is a spiny mammal that looks like a hedgehog, but is in a category of its own. And here's the jaw dropper. Male echidnas have four-headed penises. Yep, you heard that right. When mating, they only use two heads at a time, alternating between pairs. Scientists are still figuring out exactly why, but let's just say the echidna knows how to keep things interesting. Moving on to giant pandas, everyone's favorite bamboo-loving bears. These fluffy black and white creatures spend up to 14 hours a day eating bamboo. That's a serious commitment to snacking. But here's the catch. They're not great at digesting it. Pandas only absorb about 17% of the bamboo they eat, which is why they have to eat so much of it. It's a full-time job just to stay full. And finally, let's talk about the gentle giants of the animal kingdom. Elephants. Did you know they're the only mammals that can't jump? But don't feel bad for them. They make up for it with their extraordinary trunks. An elephant's trunk is like a Swiss Army knife, capable of detecting water sources up to 12 miles away. Now let's talk about birds. Penguins are famous for their waddles and tuxedo-like feathers, but emperor penguins are also incredible divers. They can hold their breath for over 20 minutes and dive more than 500 meters deep to hunt for fish. That's deeper than most submarines go. Owls are fascinating predators. Their eyes aren't shaped like normal eyeballs, they're tube-shaped, which gives them amazing night vision but zero ability to move their eyes. To compensate, they can swivel their heads a full 270 degrees. Imagine being able to look behind you without moving your body. Flamingos are famous for their pink feathers, but here's the twist. They're not naturally pink. That iconic color actually comes from the beta-carotene found in the algae and tiny shrimp they eat. Without their special diet, flamingos would be plain white or gray. Now let's talk about pigeons. You've probably seen them everywhere, parks, sidewalks, rooftops. But did you know these urban birds have an unexpected talent? Pigeons can recognize themselves in mirrors. That means they're one of the few animals, alongside dolphins, elephants, and some primates, with a level of self-awareness. And don't underestimate chickens. These clucking critters have incredible memories. They can recognize and remember more than 100 faces, whether they belong to other chickens or humans. They're like the socialites of the bird world. Finally, let's talk about woodpeckers. These birds are the percussionists of the animal kingdom, pecking up to 20 times per second. But here's the crazy part. All that pecking doesn't give them a headache. Woodpeckers have specialized skulls designed to absorb shock. Their brains are surrounded by a sponge-like bone structure, and their beaks are built to distribute the impact evenly. Next up, reptiles and amphibians. The wood frog might look ordinary, but it has an extraordinary trick up its sleeve. It can freeze completely solid in the winter and then thaw out in the spring like nothing ever happened. Its heart stops beating, and its body is basically a frog popsicle. When the weather warms up, it just hops away as if it wasn't frozen for months. And let's not forget chameleons. These color-changing reptiles have tongues that can extend up to twice the length of their bodies. That's like a person being able to grab a snack from across the room with their tongue. Convenient, but also kind of gross. And did you know crocodiles can't stick out their tongues? Their tongues are fixed to the roof of their mouths, so while they might look fierce, they'll never win a tongue twister contest. Now we're heading underwater, where things get even weirder. Octopuses are already pretty fascinating with their 8 arms and problem-solving skills, but did you know they have 3 hearts? 2 pump blood to their gills, and 1 pumps it to the rest of the body. Here's the kicker: when they swim, the heart pumping to the body stops beating. Talk about sacrificing for the sake of movement. Starfish might not have brains or blood, but they're still thriving. Instead of blood, they pump seawater through their bodies to transport nutrients. It's like having an ocean-powered circulatory system. And lobsters. These crustaceans taste their surroundings with tiny sensory hairs on their legs. Oh, and when it comes time to eat, their stomachs contain teeth. Yes, teeth. They chew their food internally. Imagine chewing your meal right in your stomach. Sounds efficient, but strange. Finally, let's zoom in on insects and arachnids. Dragonflies are expert hunters. They can fly backward and are so efficient at catching prey that they succeed 95% of the time. If they were athletes, they'd dominate every league. But butterflies are equally impressive in their own way. They taste with their feet, which helps them figure out whether a plant is the right spot to lay their eggs or grab a snack. And tarantulas? These hairy arachnids have a defensive superpower. They can flick tiny barbed hairs from their bodies to irritate predators. Those hairs are like microscopic spikes, and they're surprisingly effective at keeping threats away. The animal kingdom is full of surprises, isn't it? Which of these facts blew your mind the most? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your fellow trivia enthusiasts. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious.